English 4, Students' Book 2. Unit 12. What does your father do? Lesson 1. Activity 1. Look, listen and repeat. A.
Class, get into pairs, please. Interview your partner about the jobs of his or her family members. Yes.
Okay.
B.
What does your father do, Mai?
He's a teacher.
C.
And what about your mother?
She's a nurse.
D.
What does your sister do?
She's a student.
Page 12. Activity 2. Point and say.
What does your father do?
He's a farmer.
What does your mother do?
She's a nurse.
A.
Father. Farmer.
B.
Mother. Nurse.
C.
Uncle. Driver.
D.
Brother. Factory worker.
Page 13. Activity 3. Listen and tick.
What does your mother do, Kwan?
She's a teacher.
How about your father? What does he do?
He's a factory worker.
Do you have a brother?
No, I don't. But I have a sister.
What does she do?
She's a nurse.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Kwan.
You're welcome.
Page 13. Activity 5. Let's sing. My family.
This is a picture of my family. This is my grandpa. He's a driver. This is my grandma. She's a factory worker. This is my father. He's a farmer. This is my mother. She's a nurse. And this is me. I am a pupil.
Page 14. Lesson 2. Activity 1. Look, listen and repeat. A.
Let's play a game of jobs.
Okay.
B.
She's a doctor. Where does she work?
In a hospital.
Well done. Now it's your turn.
C.
He's a worker. Where does he work?
In a factory.
Great.
D.
She's a farmer. Where does she work?
In a field.
Correct.
Page 14. Activity 2. Point and say.
Where does a doctor work?
A doctor works in a hospital.
Page 15. Activity 4. Listen and number.
Can you talk about your parents' jobs and where they work? Yes. Okay. My father is a farmer. He works in a field. How about your mother? She's a nurse. She works in a hospital. Thanks for your answers. You're welcome. Now, what about you? What does your father do? He's a doctor. He works in a hospital. How about your mother? She's a teacher. She works in a primary school. Thanks for your answers. You're welcome.
Page 16. Lesson 3. Activity 1. Listen and repeat.
E. Field. My grandpa works in a field. Piece. I want a piece of chocolate.
E. Teacher. My mother is a teacher. Reading. She's reading a book now.
Page 16. Activity 2. Listen and circle. Then say sentences with the circled words. 1. Where's my piece of chocolate? 2.
Miss Hien is reading a dictation.
Page 16. Activity 3. Let's chant. Jobs and places of work.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What does your father do?
He's a farmer.
Where does he work?
In a field.
What does your mother do?
She's a teacher.
Where does she work?
In a school.
What does your sister do?
She's a worker.
Where does she work?
In a factory.
What does your brother do?
He's a clerk.
Where does he work?
In an office.